Hello everyone, greetings of the day. I am Neil Shah from Infinity AI and our today's guest is Mr. Sanjay Kv, currently a data scientist at Truth. Offers many years of experience in software development, data science, SEO optimization, and many more such things. He started his contribution to Google communities in around 2017 and then became Google crowdsource influencer and have organized 50 plus events and taught 5,000 plus people in 30 plus countries about ML and open source. Even Google invited him to California and Singapore offices for his active contribution in community activities in 2018 and 2020. So let's directly talk with him. So a great applause for the Mr. KV.
Yeah. So I will take from you from now.
Yeah,
Yeah. So my slides are visible.
yeah, completely.
Okay. All good. All good. So yeah. I can just see in 15 people joined. Maybe probably a few more people will join in the future. So yeah. So this event is all about. Let me know. What level of you are in the machine learning. Can I know in the comment box like you want to learn, or are you a beginner, or are you an intermediate? So maybe I can track this particular session according to that. So there is no point I talk about advanced machine learning in this particular session, right? So let me know in the comment box, like, are you a beginner or are you an intermediate in machine learning? Yeah. Started with
So guys, please fill this fast like we can catch up fast.
um, yeah. So the Shivalal's comment is like started and left with fear of maths. Yeah, it has a lot of maths, but yeah, it's fun. Like today, we will learn in a very fun way. I'm not sure any of the machine learning session which I attended has been more fun to learn. So we won't be learning we will be learning the core concept, but along with that, we will be learning gamified mode. So we will play a lot of games, and through the games, we will get to know how to how to learn the machine learning and how it is used. So I can see that majority of them are like a beginner. So yeah. So this workshop is my first explore ml session workshop. So I've been applied for this explore ml facilitator role for a couple of years, and I've been rejected throughout the time period. Then yeah, it was pretty sad. Like, this is what I want to do, teach the machine learning. Then I was like, okay, fuck Google, I'll just do it my own. So I've been teaching the machine learning for a couple of long time by myself to the people, around the world and everything. Now, today we are going to do the introduction to explore machine learning with crowdsource. Yeah. So we will talk about crowdsource and a bit of machine learning over here. Now, Neil has already introduced me. Who am I? So I'm currently studying data science. I'm a final year student. Also, I'm working as a data scientist intern in a company called Truth. So yeah, so if you're talking about the machine learning, I would say that I'm the right person to talk about the machine learning, because I've been exploring my hands on this for last couple of years. Yeah, I would say I'm okay at it. Yeah. So even I, as Shivalal mentioned, I do have the fear of math sometime, some point. Yeah,
Yep.
especially when you try to learn the data science. But it's all fine. Like, it's all start with fun. Yeah. So as
Apart
I
from
told you, sorry, Neil, come on. Yeah.
your okay level is like bit apart from us, like
No,
on the
no, no.
ground.
We all start in the same place where we try to figure out things and try to learn from YouTube, and a lot of Indian YouTube teachers over there. So it's all good. We will all reach there in some point of time. So yeah, as you see in the screen, these are all the people I have been taught through Google, different part of the world, the same machine learning course. Every time I try to teach them, I try to make it a bit more funny, because when I start learning the machine learning or data science in general, what I found is something like, it's pretty hard to understand. It's okay to learn the basic underline of it, but when you proceed it, you all are on your own. Like, you don't know. Okay, after this session, you guys will be having a basic idea of machine learning. Then you will be left with uh, no clue like how to proceed next. So in the course of time, I have prepared an ebook which summarize how to prepare for the data scientist or data science or machine learning interview jobs and everything. So definitely we will come to that right now. Yeah. Before proceeding to that, I just want to tell you one thing. um, so you guys might be aware about this chat gpt and OpenAI, Bard, all these technologies, right? Can I know yes or no?
Yeah, it is like
Yeah.
booming in today's world.
And guess me, and let me tell you one fun fact about it. So I was pretty much scared about. Oh, okay. I was pretty much scared about when this Chat GPT came into the picture, and because I'm a content creator, and that can literally take off the job of content creator people.
Yeah,
Then I was like, okay, my God, this is not no good for us. This is not good for me. Then I started realizing the other potential of ChatGPT. So as I told you, like I recently moved as a data scientist intern to the new company, and ChatGPT literally saving my ass, literally saving my, because you know there will be some code you can literally copy paste the code and it will give you what that code means, and it literally helps a developer in different particular way. But of course, it might this kind of AI will take a lot of jobs in the future. So that's why the machine learning important, why you need to know about machine learning, why a common people like us, or us like me, should learn the machine learning and want have to pursue the machine learning career in the future. Because I would say that most of analytics jobs will take away by these AI softwares in the future. And yeah, even Microsoft in the picture of building something which can replace the Power BI for a beginner level. So a company doesn't need a Power BI developer, you know a basic Power BI developer in the future. So yeah, so this kind of AI is scary sometimes, but yeah. So what you should do is something like you should learn a bit more and go into the core of that, and you should be the person who developing all this stuff. So if you are the person, then your life is, your career is safe.
even
So
the
let's
developers, even the
yeah.
developers' job is also at risk because like there are many AI tools like Maker.ai that makes a
Exactly,
website in
exactly.
just few
So we,
minutes.
we will definitely discuss all these tools, but exactly there are different types of AI. So
Yeah,
the my old point is something like you don't have to be scared about that right now, at least for the next 3 years. Even when you look at the Chat GPT, it's like a baby right now. Yeah,
yeah,
it definitely helps you with the content creation, helps you with the emails and everything. But yeah, there are a number of way that you can use to product you to make your day productive or something. So
yeah.
as of now, it's that thing is not scary as it sounds. But yeah, maybe in the future, who knows. So let's come back to the picture. So we have the slide over here. So the thing is like the data, but which is what we are discussing. Machine learning is nothing without data. So as you see, the last 2 years was the time where the data has been more created. So IBM estimate that 90% of the data in the world has been created in the past 2 years, and that is pretty much huge. So let's have a look at what kind of data they are talking about. uh, okay. So this is basically what happens in the internet for a minute. Can you imagine it? So this is as per the count of 2019 survey, and you can see 3.8 million searches is appearing in the Google, and definitely Google is in trouble because of um, ChatGPT. I'm not sure. Like, do you want to have a sneak peek of the new Windows OS system? Where can I know yes or no?
Yeah, yeah, we can like definitely
Yeah,
get our input
let
there.
me check in the comment box. So why I said Google is in trouble right now, because um, I'm using the Windows beta version, where they have did something crazy. You guys want to see that? Yes or no? I will only show you when you say yes.
So are you guys awake or like has slept now?
Yeah, I just need to constantly touch with them. Okay, so it's all good. Let me show you that. So this is a something you know Windows 11. So there are a lot of changes over here. So when you have a search over here for something like um okay, I just went to the Harry Styles today concert. Okay, Now you can see something called chat button over here and here as well. And you can see a badge, Microsoft Rewards badge. So this is how they are gonna change the way we search about it. So when you click on the chat button, let me pull this off here.
We can redeem some points from there, yeah?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's something like Harry Styles concert. I just clicked on something. I don't have to type it again, and you can see that it literally fetch all the response from the internet, and tells you where I can find the ticket, and it can also suggest you something like, okay, yesterday was the day that final show in Sydney of Harry Styles was happened. Now I want to know something like what is the future things, future concert dates. So all you need to do is like click on something. You don't even have to type anything. So this is how the Microsoft has taken the game into the next level. I think this particular feature of being integrated with the uh, Edge is coming for the common users outside there. So it's currently still in the beta version. So they have been integrated the chat gpt into the Windows operating system as well. So this is how the game is changing. So this is how the Google is in trouble right now. So yeah, so that's a sneak peek. Okay, now this is what happens in the internet for a minute. Now this is how the company needs a data scientist, any of this company, because the more they analyze the data of the user, how the people are interacting with the system. For example, I just searched the Harry Styles concert over here, and I clicked over here rather than this one. So Microsoft will get to know how people are interacting with their system and how I can improve the particular UI and how can I provide more interactive service to them. So yeah, so that's how the importance of data, and that's how the data scientist or machine learning engineer or data engineer comes into the picture. Now, yeah, as I told you, in the market right now, these are the demanding fields, and there will be a lot of new fields coming up where there are a lot of AI comes into the picture. So there will be some new more like AI engineer or AI designer or something like that. It will be in the future. So as of the current market, maybe at least the next 3 years of the market. So these are the leading data related roles all around the world. Now, I would say, can you say which one is the most paidest one? Most paid one?
Let me guess.
Yeah, go for it.
Uh, like the ML engineer?
Of course, machine learning engineer, and there is also called data scientist lead. So these two people gets more paid than all other fields right now. Yeah, um, and let me tell you, as a machine learning engineer or data scientist lead, um, my colleagues how they work. For example, they just have one task and they will be spending at least 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months to get the output of it. So
Oh,
it will be like zettabyte of data or petabyte of data. So they will be dealing with yeah, if you don't have the access to supercomputers and everything, it might take 6 months or 7 months. So yeah, you won't be working on different problems every time, but you will be working one problem or trying to figure out the solution for the problem for a very long time. And yeah, it comes with pretty much difficulties, but yeah, if you want to get paid good, you have to be in the top. Now before jumping into it, I just want to give you a clear idea of what category of the things the roles are aligned to it. So as of data scientist, what we are discussing today comes in this particular circle over here, where we will learn about how how the company is using the data, how they are processing the data, and some how they are using machine learning models and all those things. So this particular task involves as a data scientist, so you will be doing all these tasks. And as of now, I think one of the audience over here is a DevOps interested guy, or he's working in the DevOps, I think Shivalal. So yeah, he knows pretty much about how the DevOps logging, scheduling, and everything is work. So maybe you can take a screenshot, or maybe I can share these slides later with you guys. So just want to give you a heads up on this. Now let me share you a link. So I know you guys might have a pretty much um, doubts. Okay, let me. Okay, so you can just click on the link which I shared you guys and type the code, and you can just paste. You can just shoot the questions over there. So maybe in the last 15 minutes, we will definitely take the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I won't get your questions won't get lost in the Google Meet chat box over here. Okay. Now let me quickly pull out some video over here.
Our ability to learn.
Just a minute. Neil, can you go for mute because it might create an issue now because I'm playing the video. Yeah. This is like a 2 minutes video. Just want to give you a heads up.
Through experience is part of being human. When we're born, we know almost nothing and can do almost nothing for ourselves. But soon, we're learning and becoming more capable every day. But did you know that computers can do the same? Machine learning brings together statistics and computer science to enable computers to learn how to do a given task without being programmed to do so. Just as your brain uses experience to improve at a task, so can computers. Say you need a computer that can tell the difference between a picture of a dog and a picture of a cat. You could begin by feeding it images and telling it, this one's a dog, that one's a cat. A computer program to learn will seek statistical patterns within the data that will enable it to recognise a cat or a dog in the future. It might figure out on its own that cats have shorter noses and that dogs come in a larger variety of sizes, and then represent that information numerically, organising it in space. But, crucially, it's the computer, not the programmer, that identifies those patterns and establishes the algorithm by which future data will be sorted. One example of a simple yet highly effective algorithm is to find the optimal line separating cats from dogs. When the computer sees a new picture, it checks which side of the line it falls on and then says either cat or dog. But of course, there can be mistakes. The more data the computer receives, the more finely tuned its algorithm becomes, and the more accurate it can be in its predictions. Machine learning is already widely applied. It's the technology behind facial recognition, text and speech recognition, spam filters on your inbox, online shopping or viewing recommendations, credit card fraud detection, and so much more. At the University of Oxford, machine learning researchers are combining statistics and computer science to build algorithms that can solve more complex problems more efficiently, using less computing power. From medical diagnoses to social media, the potential of machine learning to transform our world is truly mind-blowing. To find out more about machine
So that's a quick sneak peek of what machine learning can do for us. Now, let me share you a link right now. Can I know how many use of you use Android phones over here?
Like whoever is using Android, write +1 in chat.
Okay. Also link. Okay. So I shared you an invite code. Okay, let me talk about this particular crowdsource thing. So this is a particular app founded, like introduced by Google in the year of 2017, which for what all features which you see right now, for example, deleting the background from the picture, or uh, you know um, if you go to the Google Photos, you can automatically, it is labeling whether you've been into the beaches, or you've been into the mountains, or you've been into hiking. So all those machine learning implementation is done through this particular crowdsource application. So I'm not sure how many of you are aware about it. So if you don't have the app, we will just play some of the games in the app right now. So you can just download the link. Unfortunately, our team is not able to develop, like is still developing the app for iOS. Yeah. So if you don't have the particular app, I can share you the website link. Now, attending this session, you can also you are also being exposed to this Google crowdsource, where you have an opportunity to become a Google crowdsource influencer in the future. And if you are good at kind of giving uh, kind of have a power of influence, for example, you can have and host a meeting, or talk about how the Google crowdsource app helps people, and you have an ability to talk to people and help them to understand machine learning, or some kind of concept about how the crowdsource app is working, then there's a good chance of you can become an crowdsource influencer and get benefit from all the Google perks they are giving out. So we will definitely will talk about that in the later section. So I'm just quickly jumping off. So if you guys have downloaded the app, you can see something called a smart camera. So the on the left, what you see is something called a feature in called smart camera. So what smart camera do is like you point to a particular object, it dictate whether it's a wine bottle or it's a normal bottle or not, and all you need to do is like click on yes or no. And you might be having this question like, why should I do this, and what all benefits you will be getting by doing this. So the thing is something like, this is how you train the machine. um, for example, the companies need a different data set, and what you do is something is like called validation. So they need a set data set which is verified by humans to train the machine. Okay, this is the something which is trained by humans, and this is how, for example, if in the future any of the 19 people over here is going to create an app which just point an object and detects it. For example, you just create an app to scrape the data from your passport. For example, you just show on your passport, it just fetch all the data. So this particular data set will be literally helpful for you. Now you will be wondering like how you gonna get help from this. Now let me share you one link. Okay, I'm sharing you a link, which is basically, okay, let me show you that over here. So all the data which you verify like this goes into open image dataset, which is created by Google. So you can just create, literally download this particular data set, and you can use in your Android application or mobile app developing. If you are, for example, if you have a website and you put a picture, the usage is unlimited, so you can use it anywhere. So this data set is completely available for you to download. It's free all over the internet, and all you need to do is like just go download it and train the machine learning once you get a hands-on machine learning. So this is a beginner section, and we will discuss about how to use that particular data and create an application in the intermediate session as well. Yeah, I can see somebody raise the hands. Yeah, you can just go on. If you have any question, like you can unmute and ask me, or you can just put in Slido. We'll check that later. Yeah, so you might guys might have been wondering like how the image identification task work and how it is recognizing the objects and everything. So we are going to discuss that in the next one. So before that, let us play a game over here. I'm sharing you one more link. Okay, just give me a minute. Maybe you can just save the links for the future reference. So I shared you guys the link over here. So what it does is something called quick draw, and this is a very good way where you can understand how the machine learning works. For example, I'm pretty bad at drawing, so it doesn't make any sense. I'm
Even me.
really sorry. So it is asking me to draw a frying pan. Oh my god. Uh,
or necklace, or hot air balloon, or lollipop. Oh, I know. Right, yeah.
yeah, somehow it got the frying pan. So this is how you play the game. So it asks you to draw something, and you have to draw it. I don't want to take risk by drawing the helmet right now. um, so yeah, so that's how the machine. Even you guys have seen like I did a shitty drawing over there, and still the machine was able to understand what I did over there. Right. Now, have you guys ever thought about how this thing is working, like how the game works, how the uh, particular Google application were able to understand your drawings? Any idea? Like quickly, can you comment on the comment box? Any idea how that can be working?
If
Uh,
like if I guess, if I might not be correct, but Google might be like taking images and how they like detect any object from their border. So like having like that sort of like structure in their database, and from that they might be like identifying this.
Oh, yeah, somewhat similar to it.
Yeah.
Object recognition. Or we have one person who is talking about CNN. CNN scares me, bro. Yeah. So when we come over here is something called, this is how the data 50 million drawings looks like. So this is how they have made a data set of, for example, I did drew something or something, the a frying pan. So that frying pan automatically went inside their database. So whenever someone do some shitty drawings like that, it goes into their data set over here, and that's how they created the pattern. Like someone draw somewhat similar to it, the machine will be able to understand, okay, this is how it's going on. I see few people raise their hands. Maybe you can just post the questions over here. Yep, RN and CNN also, they match with human verification. So if you want to contribute into this particular thing, I don't know, it's open source right now, but yeah, if you want to see how they are doing it, uh, here is the entire code which you can go into it. I don't dare to do that right now, it's very hard. So that's how it's work. As you can see, somebody commented there is something called CNN RNN, which is pretty hard concept over here, neural networks. But yeah, so I shared you the data set link over here. Now let's come to a very basic understanding about the difference between the traditional programming language and machine learning. So the amazing fact over something like here is like rule based. So which is like our traditional programming, which is something like, if you have some goal to attain, you write a set of code. For example, um, I want to automatically accept the people who join into this particular meeting. So all I need to do is write like a if else statement. If this particular person's email ID matches with their registration, yes, let them enter into the Google Meet. Else, not. So this iteration goes on. That's how a traditional if else programming logic works. Maybe we can just have a look at one more thing, uh, like how the machine learning is different from the traditional programming language. As you have seen, we don't have any particular, we can't literally type, okay, if this is not the carrot, else this is the carrot. We can't do that because there are n number of iteration, and there are different forms of carrot a particular vegetable can appear or particular object can appear. So the traditional thing never works on the machine learning concept over here. So what you do is something like, what you have seen in the quick draw is something like, you get the data, you train the data means you have amazing number of objects over here, and you draw a carrot. It just go into the database and it looks at the shape. How, oh man, did this poor guy draw something like a carrot from my database? If yes, then it's a carrot. Else, you are smarter than the machine was not able to understand your drawing. So yeah, you are a good artist. Now that's how the machine learning thing works. Now let's have a look at some of the scenarios. Okay, so what we are going to do is something like a game over here. So we will just look at some of the real-time scenario, and you guys will be guessing whether it's rule-based approach or machine learning. So uh, oh
Uh,
yeah. So what I need to do is, like, you have two options over here. So you have to guess correct in the comment box. So we will see whether it's correct or not. So I have introduced what is rule based, that is if else. Machine learning, when you have a wide amount of object scenario and you can't use particular traditional learning approach, then you will be using the machine learning. So let's look at this particular scenario, alphabetizing a list of song titles. Do you think that's a machine learning or rule based approach?
so guys,
Let me know.
let me know. Let us know in the comments, the chat section, like
Yeah.
which will be the correct one. Just have a bluff on there, like it's
Hey, just go for it. um yeah, let's have a look at this, whether it's a machine learning or not. So of course it's a rule based approach. 1 minute. Yeah. So let me tell you why this is something called a rule-based approach, because alphabet A to Z is kind of defined, and you can use some sorting algorithms or some kind of traditional programming language, because the numbers are fixed, the letters are fixed, and you can set defined rules for that, and you are in the limit. So you can do a particular traditional programming language for alphabetizing the song until you don't use a predicting when you type, and it automatically predict what you're typing. So here the thing is like just like in the normal Spotify when you go and search. So that's how the rule base is the answer for this one. Now let us have a look at this ranking web search result. For example, you go into the Google and you type um, something, and do you think that's traditional programming language or machine learning? um, ML. Yeah, let's have a look. Okay, that's both rule based and machine learning things over here. So let me tell you why it is role based and machine learning, because um, this ranking the website is pretty much complex task, where you use the particular defined keywords, for example A to Z keywords and numbers. And definitely there are a lot of machine learning comes into the picture, where you know it will suggest you. For example, when you search in the Google, as I told you before, it kind of suggests you something which you are searching for based on your previous learning. So yes, definitely the Google search is using rule based and machine learning approaches as well. Now let's quickly move on to the next one: predicting house prices based on the location. For example, you are searching house prices in Delhi. Do you think that's a rule based or machine learning? Okay, let me come into the picture. So the answer is machine learning, and the reason is something like there is no perfect formula to determine how much home would cost on based on this particular location. It's all about the tenant, like the owner, like different owners, like if they want to put a price on their house, what they want, it just goes on. So there are other factors which play the part, like pricing cost, house cost, the location. There are a number of factors which is affecting over there. So definitely is a machine learning thing. For example, next time when you go into any of the application, when you see the housing prices, think about this works in the machine learning way. Now this is a pretty tricky one. I just definitely want to know the comments of this: processing online payments, rule based approach or machine learning. um, I have seen most of the people make it wrong choice over here.
So that's
um,
a tricky one.
it's a pretty much tricky one. What happens over here is like most of the people think it's a machine learning one. um, yeah, but the answer is a rule based. So let me tell you how it is rule based. So the payments are pretty much logical thing. As I told you in the initial alphabetizing the song, here we have a particular person name, card number, particular process for the transaction. If this guy is paying this one, just take into his bank account, check his bank ID, and everything is fine. Deduct the amount, so like that. But there are machine learning using in the case of fraud detection. For example, if somebody is using your card in a very different location and you are in a very different location, then there is something called fraud detection which we are using. So that comes under machine learning. But normal transaction which you are doing through Google Pay and everything is like completely rule based, which means traditional programming language.
Our
I'm
audience
going
is
to
pretty
Yeah,
much knowledgeable because like they all say rule based only in the previous video.
exactly. So I'm not going further. Like I just want to give you a last one: classifying an object in a photo, rule based or machine learning. Of course, it's a machine learning which we literally seen right now. So I have one more gamified model of machine learning to show based on this one. So yeah, so this is kind of recap what we have learned right now. Rule based approach, the if else thing, it's is particularly defined. Machine learning, if somebody asks you machine learning from now on, it's something like it learns from the pattern. um, Even in the interview, if they ask you how do you define machine learning, it's all about patterns, the machine understanding the patterns, and it works on that particular pattern and improve it. Now we can't completely rule out the rule-based approach because everything has its own benefits. So for example, as I told you, payment, everything, we are using the rule-based approach. Now I'm pretty much sure that we are getting bored right now, so let's take a break. So we can just follow each other in the social media platform for the another 2 minutes, and I will also share you some of the um, yeah. So this is a way that you can just, if you're sharing the particular event, you can use the Explore ML or my ID, and I will definitely gonna give you guys a amazing gift, which I'm selling it for $25, not from Google. Okay. So yeah, I will be for the most engaging people on the platform. I'm just gonna give you the surprise giveaway. Definitely, I will give you at the end of the session. Just please, Neil, just remind me about this one.
Yeah, definitely.
So you guys can take the screenshot of the particular session and you can post with Infinity AI hashtag keyword hashtag if you have any, or Google Explore ML and tag me. Let me know how it goes. We will come back to this one.
And just you also share your experience, like what you learned, like what was the best thing today you have learned.
Yeah. And definitely there is one more surprise at the end of the session. I'm gonna share you $100 ebook as well. So only for the people who stay till the end. That's an hook for you guys to stay, because this from this particular part on, this is something like a very basic underlying of machine learning. So yeah, I will make sure that you guys are not get bored for this. Now, let me pull one more video over here. Just a minute. So we are going to move into the machine learning one.
A great business idea, and you've already gone through the effort to frame it as a machine learning problem. What next? How does your idea become a working machine learning solution? The process has 3 phases: data, modeling, and production. In the data phase, you identify the input data that your machine learning system needs to make successful predictions. Data may come from databases, log files, web pages, and even other machine learning systems. Once you identify data inputs and sources, you use statistical tools to draw insights about the data. The better you know your data, the more useful hypotheses you can make. Data rarely comes in an ideal state. Data needs to be collated, possibly by joining different data sources, and cleaned for the machine learning model to work optimally. Cleaner data results in better predictions. For a machine learning problem, you start with the input data and convert it into features. Features are key properties of the data. For a supervised machine learning problem, you transform the outcome into labels. Labels represent the intended output of the machine learning system. Joining data sources, cleaning the data, and engineering the features and labels takes time. Plan on spending a large portion of your time in the data phase. Modeling phase. Along with the features and labels, you set up the kind of machine learning system needed, called the model. Researchers have created all sorts of machine learning models, from simple to complex. Some models classify data. Other models predict numeric values. Tools like Google's TensorFlow support many types of machine learning models for various uses. Before a model can make predictions, it needs training, which is like sending the model to school. First, there are lessons to learn from the data. Along the way, there are quizzes to check knowledge and correct any misunderstandings. In the end, there's a final exam.
Okay, that's a 4-minute video, so we don't have enough time to cover the 4 minutes video. I will definitely share you the link over here. Now let me quickly jump into what machine learning can do. So what you have seen is something like the process, which is a standard process which all the machine learning engineers do when they deal with machine learning. Now this is a sector in this particular section. For example, you can see the artificial intelligence. So machine learning comes under that, and deep learning comes under that. Can anyone tell? Maybe you can unmute your mic and tell me quickly what could be the difference between these three: AI, ML, and deep learning.
You can just try it, like if someone wanted to convey like anything.
Yeah, let's see somebody smart in the team to talk about it. Yeah, you
Sir,
can go for
machine.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Raghav.
Sir, may I?
Yeah, go on.
So machine learning is about predicting the outputs from a particular particular in particular field like houses or any other languages human speak, and artificial intelligence is training a particular agent to learn themselves.
Yep, that's pretty much similar to it. So artificial intelligence comes in a very broader perspective, where you know, ChatGPT, OpenAI, blah 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 stuff. So machine learning comes as this particular person told. It just deals with what we did right now. The quick draw, what we did, based on the patterns, it recognizes what the machine learning is all about. But what there is one problem between machine learning and artificial intelligence. The thing is something like they are need to be controlled by someone. They don't have that ability to do something by themselves, and that's how the deep learning comes into the picture. For example, I showed you the particular crowdsource application where a user has to be there to tell machine like whether it's a cat or a dog or whether it's a wine bottle or not. So these particular steps are particularly needed for machine learning to understand the patterns and to system to understand how the machine learning things work.
Yeah,
Now
like
that
sorry to interrupt. Like
yeah,
there are like few more like who wanted to like so just like we can just give a minute for
yeah, please go for it. I have one more question. So what do you think the deep learning would be? You can unmute your mic and go
like
for it.
who has raised their hand? Can anyone proceed? Raghav, Shivlal, or Shubham, anyone?
So basically, what the deep learning is like the data sets which the actual model uses, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, so the answer should be something like deep learning doesn't require any kind of human feedback. It automatically trains by themselves based on the it's something called a neural network. So based on the feedback it has been received, it try to understand the data automatically and try to train the model by themselves. So you don't need that human interface over there to teach
No,
the
I was
machine.
talking about the TensorFlow. Like TensorFlow uses that data set to get the data. That's what like deep learning means.
Yeah. It's probably somewhat similar what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So the thing is like the in the machine learning, as you've seen, that there is a human interface needed to be there for the system to understand whether it's an image or not. So in the deep learning, it can completely cut out the human interface, and the machine can automatically work on themselves and improve the training models and everything. Now let me quickly jump into machine learning. So this is like a cross field of algorithm technology and big data. Big data is like dealing with huge amount of data over here. Now, yeah. So what are we going to do in the next 10 minutes? Something like I will just create a basic foundation. For example, if you're going for software engineering, there is something called algorithms, different types of algorithm, travel salesman algorithm or uh, shortest algorithm, whatever it is. So in the same case in machine learning, definitely there are some particular foundation over here which helps. If you go to any interviews, they definitely ask you this question. So the thing is like classification, as you've seen in the video before, if I put a picture over here, a lion or cat, it dictates it's the system will automatically able to detect whether it's a lion or cat based on the feedback it has been received. So that's what we do in the classification problems. So let's have, so if you have the app with you, so these kind of task in that particular app does this particular image classification problem. Now let me, before jumping to the regression, I will definitely show you how that works in the real time. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. So I'm going to quickly do a real-time example of how the classification thing works. Now, if people, you might be wondering, like, this is a teachable machine website created by the Google, where you can just do some learn the machine learning in a very gamified mode. So let me tell you how to use it. Click on get started. So what we want to do is like an image standard classification. So I'm gonna use my webcam. So I'm used my second webcam. So what I'm doing is something like making the machine to understand what I have is a Pepsi can or not. So what I do is something like in my first data set, I'm just gonna record and hold this and show the machine. Okay, not my face. I'm taking a different pictures in different angle just to show the machine uh, this is a Pepsi can. So the machine has taken 89 image samples. Now I just want to teach machine what else I have here. Okay, maybe candle over here, and I'm taking next one and showing this one. So I similarly took a candle thing and made an 86 image sample. So I just named this as Pepsi can, and this as my candle light. So what it does in the real time, so this is what you have seen. This is the entire process of machine learning, how it works. So what you have seen is like I created two models and I feed image system with two data set, which is like the samples over here. So next set of machine learning is something like train the model. So let's wait until it's get trained. Okay, so the training took around, yeah, so the training is happening. Now the model is trained right now. So what it does is something like, now I show this particular thing. I think it's fetched my photo as well before. Okay, that's my bad. So when I show this candle light over here, it's just understand, okay, what I'm showing is a candle light. Now why it's showing Pepsi can is because my face is coming on the Pepsi can picture. That's why it's showing
Yeah.
Pepsi. But yeah, when I make it so much closer, you can see that it make 100% Pepsi can. Yep. So that's how the kind of machine learning works, and you can export this model and you can use this in your real-time application as well. Yeah, that's a pretty much quick demo about how the classification works. It just used to understand what type of things you have holding on. So regression is another thing, which is basically like when I talk about regression, I had a very hard time to understand the regression in real time because they have something called logistic regression. So we are not talking about that. So I just make it very simple. So for example, if you use Google Maps, you travel from Mumbai to Hyderabad, you have a point A and you have a point B. So you use regression to do some kind of implementation like that. So I'm not making it more complicated for you guys. So it's basically like you draw a line between uh, your analysis and you just understand how aligned your data is. Yeah. Now, there is another thing called clustering. So what I say, classification, regression, clustering. So how you will be using is like when you work as a data scientist and you will be getting a data, and from the data you have to understand which of this method you have to use to categorize the data. So we have a game to understand pretty much more about that. So clustering is something like, okay, you have the written alphabets over here. This 7 looks somewhat like 2. So it just classify the data accordingly, and it clusters the data based on that. So you have a pretty much understanding about, okay, what is 2 and the 2 groups together and the 7 groups together. Yeah, that's how the clustering works. Now, if you're looking in the app, there is something called semantic similarity, where it's basically like um, you can say the same thing. Okay, you're going to attend Sanjay's workshop. You can also say that I'm going to attend a machine learning workshop, but you have not explicitly mentioned Sanjay's workshop. So there is some similarity that you're going to attend a workshop. So that's how this clustering things works, and it groups the same meaningful thing into one. Basically used for the reviews, film reviews, and everything. And ranking and everything. Now there is something called sequence prediction, which you guys, everyone knows. How many use guys who use the sliding thing when you type the keyboard? I still don't use it, but yeah, it's a pretty good thing where it predict what you are sliding, and it predicts the that particular word and pops up for you.
That automates something like for us.
Yeah, exactly. So in the application, if you want to explore, there is something called glide type, handwriting recognition, translation, where exactly use the sequence prediction thing. And what you'll be doing is something like you will be contributing to the when you start doing it, it's like a game. For example, maybe I can just pull that off and show it to you guys. So here it is the thing. Handwriting recognition, you just go here, you just you have a pop-up over here, and you just need to type it center. So because the machine sometimes doesn't know whether it's N or R, so you as a person helping Google to make it correct. Now being a contributor, you have something called a ranking system. Every contribution counts. So I'm pretty much into this a good course. So it's like a gamified model, so you can see uh, how much contribution you have done, and the leaderboards, and particular action has particular leaderboards, so you can see where you are standing in that particular leaderboard and everything. So that's pretty much interesting. I would really recommend you guys to try it. And this is something called style transfer, which is pretty much latest. You guys might have seen um, AI can create any particular image. So this is something like style transfer. For example, you have an image, you have a particular audio, and that image and audio mixed together, and AI can create a particular style and everything, particular art form. Now I just want to quickly make sure that you guys understand this, so I'm going to pull another question kind of things, where you guys will tell me like whether it's classification, clustering, or whatever machine learning models are. So the question is recommending next word in the Android SMS app based on the words typed so far. Oh, before that, just want to quickly share. I just want to give you the surprise right now. I Yeah. So this is my book giveaway. We will definitely go to the questions right now. I just want you guys to get relaxed sometime. Okay, let me see. Where's my book? Okay, I don't have the link over here. Learn dot. So what I did over here is something like I've been learning this machine learning for a very trying to learn the machine learning, but what happens in the course of time is something like there was no proper guidance, or there was no proper
Roadmap sort of thing.
kind of methodology to how to proceed. Like if you follow one person, they teach you in a very different way, and you know um, most of them don't have a real time experience as a data scientist or something. So I've been struggling with this data science for a couple of time, and I thought, okay, why don't I just make a book which includes everything from basics to the end, and also have an interview experience and interview questions which they can ask as a data scientist. So I just created this book in the year of 2021, and it's been kind of doing pretty much good in the market right now. So I would like to share this particular book for you guys for free. So if you want to get it for free, just click on the link which I shared in the chat box, and use the code recode. Just all you need to do is something like, okay, sorry, all you need to do is like go click on I want this button, and all you need to do is like enter your email ID and click on the recode discount code as recode. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't even have to enter your card details. Just click on purchase now. You will be fine. So
Yeah,
let
nice.
me. So meanwhile, you guys can do it. If any issues, let me know. So let me quickly finish it off. Recommending next word in the Android SMS app based on the words typed so far. Can I know your response? Do you think it's
Uh,
what do you think?
Maybe like sequence prediction.
Of
Yeah.
course, sequence prediction, because there is a particular given sequence, and the next word is predicting. Of course, so it's a sequence prediction. Labeling email as spam or not spam. It's basically like yes or no. Like I showed you the Pepsi can over here, asking whether it's a Pepsi or not. So it's basically comes under the classification because it just deals with yes or no output. Now, identifying trends among a group of people who have bought a new music release. This is pretty much tricky because if you remember the clustering method, the 2 and 7. So in this particular case, what we do is something like we have to make a specific prediction, which is basically like looking for some similarities and finding the clusters and group them, whether they have bought the similar taste of music. So definitely that comes under the clustering. I'm not making it I'm not making it to type because we are running out of time. So another question is something like a bot that reads the news in the voice of famous actors. So this is something like which you might have seen in the Instagram and everything. So have you wondered which of the machine learning models we are using?
That's really tricky.
So that's something called style transfer. So whatever you see, which is something like has to deal with the art forms or mimicking, it all comes under the style transfer. Sequence prediction, clustering, regression almost deals with text-based approach, and classification mostly like an object method approach. So yeah, so these four are kind of a basic foundation of the machine learning. So when you start learning and how to implement it, it's going to be pretty much useful.
Yeah.
So as I told you, it's a style transfer one, and determining workout activity based on the phone movement. um, you might have, if you are using an iPhone, you have this workout app and everything, so it dictates how many time, how many phase you have worked in a day and everything. So the answer is like classification. um yeah. So what happens over here is something like you don't really need a machine learning to understand this. For example, if you have the particular hardware installed for it, it can dictate whether you're working or not. But why the classification is used, because sometimes the person might be inside a car is not working, so but the person is still moving, but the system will get confused, okay, whether it's doing a workout or not. So we use the classification to dictate whether the particular person is walking or not based on the pattern, or the particular person is running or swimming based on the pattern he's from the smartwatch. Now this is a last or second last one. Identify the famous landmarks in a photo. So definitely it's gonna to be a classification because we are dealing with yes or no questions over here. And again, suggesting spelling correction. Um, as you know,
Plus,
clustering. Yeah, you guys got it. So why I just made it like this is because when you think machine learning in this particular keyword like clustering, regression, sequence prediction, you never gonna remember it, because me as a data scientist student had a hard time understanding. When somebody asks me classification or regression, I always try to explain the definition, and no one in the world doesn't want to know about the definition. Even in your interview, you go for the interview, they just want a real time scenario, like where you can, if somebody asks you what is regression, I can literally go and say, I would say regression is something like predicting the quality of score for an advertisement, and you can just explain about it. And the answer for this is like regression over here. So use regression for predicting the quality of the advertisement score.
yeah,
And if you are the person who use Google Maps or Apple Maps, estimating arrival time based on the time of day or traffic, you might guys might be wondering like how Google Maps can predict that one so fucking accurate. So yeah, this is done through regression.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm not going to in detail about it. Just want to give an highlight about what this is thing happening and translating between two languages. Again, sequence prediction. So along this 1 hour, you guys might have learned a basic idea about what is machine learning rule based and how an idea to implement. How are we implementing it? I did show a demo of that Pepsi can and my candle over there, and difference between three types of machine learning you know
models.
models, and types of machine learnings, like 5 types of machine learnings over here. So that's a beginner tracks that you can just go with machine learning thing. Now, I just also want to share you, if you guys, I have seen like there are few people who are like intermediate level over here. Now, if you are interested, I can share my GitHub link where I did a lot of projects which is related to machine learning. um One of the amazing one is like Stack Overflow analysis. So you have the code over here, Python file, and you have everything. You're feel free to use this particular code. So it has a step by process which I explain how are we doing machine learning in the real time. So what it does is something like, based on the feedback from the Stack Overflow, it predicts what is the highest paid job in the future in terms of IT field. So yeah, just if you feel free to go through this, and I have commented all the code, and feel free to use this in your projects or whatever it is. Yeah. And I will also I will check the social media if somebody has shared anything with the hashtag, and people uh, who have anything shared in the social media, I will be definitely share you a book worth $120, which will train you how to how to behave in an interview, how to prepare for an interview or something like that. That book has been used by most of the Googlers to get into the Google. So I just recently bought it. So it's not a legal thing to share, but I'm gonna do it because at the end we all are Indian. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the way that I just want to keep you on track and see. Just want to know whether the session was useful for you or not.
Yeah, like
And
we have one question from from the audience.
yeah,
Now in the chat, you can just hover over it.
I have a question that Google use images taken by our smartphone. Um, Google Photos app. Oh, that is not in that particular way. The first thing is like, if you have read the agreement of Google Photos, they are not using your photo. A particular person is not seeing your photo or something. It's just like, maybe I can just show you a demo of it. If you search crowdsource image data set, you might get something like, yeah, open image data set by crowdsource, where all the photos which you have contributed through this particular app, only this particular app is available over here. And what we have seen in your Google Photos app is something like, they create a machine learning model, and that particular machine learning model is using you know to understand the patterns of your taken photo or gallery photos and label them accordingly. So there is no it's literally not like a privacy breach or something. If you read the agreement, it has written that machine learning model is used to categorize the labels. So it's up to you whether you have to use the app or not, but yeah, definitely you are giving access to that particular photos. For example, if you are really concerned about the privacy, you we all know that there is nothing called privacy. It's a myth.
Privacy.
Yeah, so you use any of the app, for example. Oh, I can't literally show you that because it will be against Google. So if you use any of the app, you can see what all service they are using in your phone. Even if the app is not using anything called contacts, just for to see the wallpaper or something, it might be accessing your contact list. So yeah, y- just be wise using all the application which you see. If you feel like, okay, they are breaching your privacy or something, I suggest not to use it. So of course, in Google Photos, personally, for me, it's easy for me to just select a particular image which I'm looking for if it is already labeled for me. So I feel like it makes my life, my time pretty much more easy. So I don't think it's a privacy breach in my case. Yeah, sorry if I don't know how to answer that correctly, but yeah, this is my perspective of that view. Now let me check of any questions which you have received so far. Oh, I had, okay. Oh yeah, just a minute. Yep. How to get into ML ops? Does it requires master level ML knowledge? I'm not sure. Is that Shivalal asked this question? I
Yeah,
think
he might be.
if Shivalal asked this question, or if he's not asked the question, just let I would say that he would be the right person to answer. I will wait for him. Which field will get more popular and higher paid software development? Oh, of course, I shared you this particular link. So this is like my analysis of the 3 years of data sets from the Stack Overflow, where it has been taken survey from all the developers from all the companies. So as if you scroll down over somewhere here, you can see some prediction which I have received. Yeah. So currently the popular 10 programming languages JavaScript to C++, which you can see over here. This is like applying some machine learning models on this. And if you're looking for highest paid country, I would say Ireland. And if you're looking for data scientist, the highest paid country is United States. So I have made this kind of categorization. Just feel free to go for it. I think there is something like, yeah. So most of the respondent based is like JavaScript, HTML. So I would say the data science field is popping up. So Go and everything is over here. So I would probably say JavaScript will lead the marketplace in the another 5 years of time. I would say, because JavaScript is everything. I would say Python might replace HTML, CSS, and definitely there is no. If you're looking to learn something, I would say just be confident in one programming language. It depends. For example, I've been working on the Power BI, which use something called um, oh, I forgot the programming language over there. Uh, and I use Flutter as well, Dart programming language. So I just have a foundation on the programming language. And when you move into different company as a different position or different roles, they will be using different programming language. So all you need to do is like having a basic foundation. And Julia Go definitely will pop up in the future. So there is no point learning all the programming language. So stick into one. I would say Python is easy to learn. So maybe if you are a beginner, learn Python. Have a good foundation where you can build something. Then, yeah, then explore the other languages and try to develop something. So I would say my answer for that is, yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Um, and
Because
I'm not a person to comment on ML ops, which because I have very much less knowledge on what ML ops does. But I know this particular person, Shivalal Sharma, Medium, or I don't know where he posts. So he is one of the participant over here. I'm not sure. Neil, can you help me? Like, there is one more page where people write, right?
hash
Apart
node,
from it,
hash
hash node.
node or dev too.
So he's a DevOps engineer. So maybe you can just refer his website, particular thing for understanding about this MLOps. So I have a question in the comment box. In ML languages, which is very powerful, Python or R? It depends. I'm not an R fan. If you're really interested, I can just show you how the R thing looks like. I don't want to go into the R studio because the UI and everything is pretty much sad. And I'm not a proper coder. I'm more like a good at communication and visualizing stuff. So yeah, I do sometimes R studio, but maybe I can just show you something over here. I don't know why it's not popping up. Seems still loading. Meanwhile, you can just ask me another questions. Let me try to.
Feel free to ask any sort of like a silly question also. We won't
Yeah,
mind.
thing is still loading. Some issues with my R Studio.
Yeah, no,
Um,
like, we
yeah,
can.
I would suggest as a beginner, just focus on the Python. You will be pretty much good.
Yeah.
Um, Let me know
And
if you guys have any other questions.
yeah, like any other questions like any people have?
And if you guys are comfortable, you can turn on the camera. We can just take a photo,
Yeah.
and we can just share in the social media, and we can just stay connected with each other. Also, feel free to share your LinkedIn ID over here, because LinkedIn is a freaking powerful platform where you can get connected and get a job offers.
And
Get
also,
connected
I
with the
have
like-minded
shared
people.
like
Yeah.
one feedback form. You can just like give us your thought, like whether the session was useful for you or not, or any sort of thing.